Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day so far and thanks for tuning in into this training video. In this video, we're going to be covering bills within Contractor Foreman. The bills section is a key component for managing project expenditures and maintaining accurate financial tracking. Bills are primarily used to record planned and quantifiable costs associated with projects, whether those are materials ordered from a vendor, services rendered by a subcontractor, or other committed expenses. By capturing these costs accurately, project managers can monitor their budget, track actual versus committed costs, and maintain proper job costing. So let's get started. That's the best way to learn. We'll head over to our menu and go down to bills all the way at the bottom of financials. And from here, there's a few things that we can take a look at, and you'll see this is very similar to the other dashboards we have for other modules within Contractor Foreman. As you scroll down near the bottom, you have a list of all the different bills that you've created so far, and if you're looking for a specific one, you can actually just use the search button at the top left. In addition to that, we also have a filter button, so if you're looking for bills that fit within a certain date range or for a specific project, feel free to check out and use the filter button. At the top right, there's a few buttons which you're likely familiar with as well. The first one is watch a how-to video, and this is likely how you got to this video in the first place. In addition to the video, we have a number of different articles from our knowledge base where we cover frequently asked questions and best tips and practices on how to use the bills module. In addition to that, we also have a suggested new feature button. Here in Contractor Foreman, we're always looking to improve and we're always monitoring this inbox. If you have a suggestion or an idea for an improvement, feel free to drop us a note and we'll be happy to review and see what we can do for our next future updates. And lastly is the module settings. If you'd like to add custom fields or change the status of the different bills or change the module name, you can actually do so here within the module settings under bills. And I'd encourage you to check out the different options that you can play around with here. So let's go ahead and create a new bill. We'll head over to the top right hand corner and click on plus bill. Now, like I mentioned earlier, bills are for recording planned and quantifiable costs, and usually they're associated with a purchase order, a subcontractor, or their standalone costs. And for this video, we'll do an example for each one of these three. So let's assume this is a standalone cost. For example, if I'm paying for the permit on behalf of a client, but it's something that I have to pay and create a bill for, and I also want to make it billable, meaning I want to pass on the cost to the customer and charge them for it, I can go ahead and create a bill for this. So I'll go ahead and choose a project that I'm working on, and I'll select the vendor who I paid, in this case Ontario Hydro. I'll create a bill number 101. For the terms, I'll put net 30 and I'll hit billable, meaning this is billable towards the client and I can charge them for this cost. So now that we're here, there's a few of the items that carried over from our last screen to over here. We have our project title, our bill number, our vendor, the amount so far, a reference number that we can include if needed. Right now, this is a standalone cost, so there's no PO or subcontract reference to. The bill date, the due date, which we can change if needed, the terms, and a description. And here I can put permit fees for temp power. Now, for this example, I want to assume that I paid the permit fees via credit card and I created an expense for it. In order to import that expense into a bill, I can actually simply go down to Add Item to Bill and click on Import from Expense. And I can actually just go ahead and choose the expense, which I paid via credit card for, temporary hydro of pole connection permit, 472.35, and hit Save and Close. And now my bill is pretty much ready to go. Before we leave this bill, there's a couple more things that we can take a look at. At the top right hand corner, we can actually click on the three dots and click on View/Email PDF. Here we can choose one of the existing templates, in this case simply view the PDF, and one of the best practices we recommend is downloading a copy of the PDF, going over to the left-hand side under Files, and uploading a copy of the PDF of the bill for your records in case there's any changes or you need a copy of the bill as backup for accounting purposes, etc. It's always handy to have a PDF of it. Now, because we made this into a billable bill and we want to charge this to the customer, we can actually go back to the three dots on the top right hand corner and click on Generate an Invoice. Here we can generate an invoice automatically from the bill, and if we head over to items, you'll see that we now have an invoice with the bill that we carried over, and it's ready to go. If you have any more questions about invoicing and how to create an invoice, feel free to check out our invoices training video. Now let's head back over to bills and select the bill that we were working on. One of the other things that we can do is after we've sent it out and we've collected payment for it, it's important to mark off that this has been paid and post payment. On the left hand side, you can review all the payments that have been made associated with this bill. And if you'd like to record a payment, you can just simply head over to the top right hand corner and click on Post Payment. Here we can choose a payment date, the amount, and any notes. Here I can put paid via check, for example, and hit Confirm. Now I have a payment history. I've confirmed that they've paid $472.35, and this bill now has a balance due of $0. So let's go ahead and create a bill for a purchase order. One thing to note before you proceed is that within Contractor Foreman, the correct workflow is not to create a bill and then assign to the purchase order, but to go to your existing purchase order and generate a bill from there. So in this example, I'm actually going to go ahead and work on one of the existing purchase orders I have for this project. If I go to the left-hand side and go to items, I can see this purchase order is for 20 windows that I now want to generate a bill for. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead to the top right-hand corner where the three dots are and click on Generate a Bill. From here, I can change the quantity if needed for the line items which are associated with the PO. For the windows, let's just say I want to pay for 10 of the windows for now because the other 10 still have not arrived or been shipped yet. So with that, I'll go ahead and click on Generate. And I now have a bill which is associated with my project, the amount, the vendor, and the PO that I created it from with the line items already attached. If you'd like to post payment and show for your records that this payment has been made, you can head over to Payments, click on the three dots on the top right, click on Post Payment, or we can say Paid for Delivery 1 of 2, hit Confirm, and we now have the bill with the posted payment, which has now been paid off. Like we mentioned earlier, one of the best practices is to make sure that you download a PDF of the bill, which you can upload and save over to your files over here. And this is a best practice that we here at Contractor Foreman encourage. Hit Attach, and we're done with our bill. Next up, let's create a bill for a subcontract. Similar to the workflow for a purchase order, we need to go to one of our existing subcontracts and generate a bill from there. So for this example, I'm actually going to go ahead and open up one of the subcontracts I have for my project. This subcontract is for a plumbing installation that I have my plumber doing. So in order to create a bill, I'm going to head over to the top right hand corner where the three dots are and click on Generate a Bill. Similar to the purchase order and what we went over before, we can now play around with the percentages and decide what percentage of these line items to bill. For this example, I just want to bill 50% for the kitchen plumbing faucets as a deposit, and I don't really want to bill anything else yet. So I'll do the first line item for 50% and everything else for 0%. And with that, I'll generate a bill. And I now have a bill which is associated directly to my subcontract, and everything else has already been filled out, and I have my kitchen plumbing faucets that I'm billing 50% for. One thing to note is that you'll see that I have a comment here regarding retainage. If you have a question about retainage and how it applies to subcontracts, feel free to check out our training video on subcontracts. So with that, once everything looks good, I'll head over to the top right hand corner, click on post payment. Maybe add a note, deposit for kitchen faucets, hit confirm, and the balance due has dropped over to 0, and I've now paid this bill. If you need help or have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us by the live chat or send us an email at support@contractorforeman.com. And if you'd like to have any more in-depth training, make sure to book a session on our training page. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.